Hi, my name is Taylor Royal and I will be audio describing this video. My dad, Mike, exits the house and puts the harness on his guide dog, Subi. They commence their walk down the driveway, leaving the house.
My name is Mike Royal, and I've been traveling with a guide dog for over 30 years. I applied for the Flight for Sight grant with the hope of developing a resource that blind people could use to help determine if getting a guide dog was a good decision for them. At age 5, I was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa RP, and by age 18, I was legally blind. I resisted applying for a guide dog until my mid-20s, however, because I did not want to self-identify as a blind person. Getting my first guide dog in May of 1993 increased my mobility, boosted my confidence, and launched me on what ultimately would become a 25-year corporate career. It's been a while since I applied for my first guide dog, but as I recall, back in early 1992, there were a dozen schools or so that I found. Of those, most of them only accepted candidates that were totally blind or had very limited light perception remaining. In fact, if I recall correctly, only 2 of the schools accepted legally blind candidates.
Subi and Mike walk along the left side of the street towards the camera.
I decided to go ahead and apply to both of those schools and was ultimately selected as a good candidate by both. That fact helped me decide that it was the right time for me to go ahead and pursue getting a guide dog. So in May 1993, I went to go live for about a month at Leader Dog School for the Blind in Rochester Hills, Michigan. That is where I trained to get my first guide dog, which was a black lab named Cody.
Subi and Mike wait on the left side of the road for a car to pass and then proceed to cross the street.
Back in 93, as I mentioned, my central vision could still get corrected pretty well, and I could actually read textbooks. Therefore, I took all the textbooks that I was going to be using in the second half of the summer during my MBA summer school class and would read them at night after formal guide dog training. The instructors warned me to be careful not to override Cody for things I saw or thought I might have seen. While not true today, lease corrections were commonplace back in 1993. Somewhere around day 20 of training, this caused me and Cody some issues during one of our street crossings. I saw an instructor was watching us cross, and I also could tell Cody was probably not going to stop at the curb. So I went ahead and let him blow the curb, and then I gave him a good lease correction. The instructor got all up in my face, told me the correction was way too harsh, and that I needed to help Cody out. In turn, my hot-headed self fired back that I saw Cody was going to blow the curb, but it's the things that I don't see in the future that's going to get me in trouble. Fortunately, as we both cooled off a little bit, the instructor just reminded me to pay more attention to non-visual cues, such as listening to how wide the street is by the traffic flow as you're coming up to it, or feeling that you went to the crown of the street and headed back down towards the curb as you're crossing. I know at this point Cody was probably wishing I'd have been paying more attention during that crossing and during my prior O&M training. So after formal training for that day, I didn't read my books. Instead, I got permission to go out in the back training yard and work Cody on the practice course. This was very important at the time because I was totally night blind. I had been all my life and would require me only to rely on visual cues to work Cody. And by the time I got back in from that training session, I knew we were going to make a good team and getting a dog was the right decision for me.
Mike and Subi are about to finish their walk and are headed up the driveway. Subi finds the door to go inside the house, and Mike takes off her harness.
To wrap up, I recognize again a guide dog is a very personal decision, and it's not for everyone. Plenty of blind people travel with the use of a white cane, sighted assistance, echolocation, or some other mobility aid. No matter how my Flight for Sight friends decide to travel, I just encourage you to go out there and chase your dreams.